Hey credit warriors, welcome to the show. Now, if you are a student now, or if you're starting college this year, in addition to studying while you're at college, which is pretty important, you may also want to think about building your credit score so that when you graduate, When you graduate, you do not get hit with an outrageous security deposit when you go to rent an apartment or get a cell phone plan. And you have more opportunities in terms of earning rewards such as cashback and free travel from credit cards, and also easier financing when you go to start your own business. Basically, it's a good idea to start building your credit score as early as possible so you don't get charged outrageous deposits for things. If you have a credit score over 700, you can pretty much get approved for any credit card. And if you're over 740, you're basically the dark knight of credit. You'll get the best interest rate on any loan product, such as car loans or mortgages. And how do you do that? Well, the best way to build your credit is with credit cards. You see, when used responsibly, credit cards are all you need to build your credit score to the level that you are going to need. But how do we get a credit card? Don't we already need a credit score? Well, that is where student credit cards come in. These are credit cards targeted specifically at students who may have no credit score or no credit history. In this video, I'm going to give you top 5 student credit cards of 2023. Number 1, the Chase Freedom Student. So the Chase Freedom Student is a student version of Chase's popular Freedom cards. Now, the rewards are somewhat underwhelming compared to the actual Freedom, the Freedom Flex, and the Freedom Unlimited, which both earn up to 5% back in certain categories. The Freedom Student, by contrast, just earns 1% back on everything, but hey, it's a student card, so I don't think we can really expect too much. There is, however, a $50 welcome bonus after you make your first purchase within the first 3 months from account opening. There's also a $20 bonus each anniversary if your account is in good standing, i.e. you always pay your bills on time. And you will get that $20 every anniversary for the first 5 years. Then you can also earn a credit limit increase once you have made 5 on-time monthly payments. The points you earn also, although they're marketed as cashback, they are actually Chase Ultimate Rewards points. So potentially in the future, if you get other cards like Chase Sapphire, you could transfer them over there, and they then take on higher value when booking travel. They'd be worth 1.25 cents per point, for example, on the Sapphire Preferred. You could also transfer them out to airline partners if you go on to get other cards in the Chase system. So there is a little bit of future proofing built into this card for people who want to progress and climb the Chase credit card ladder, getting better Chase credit cards in the future, probably when they're not a student anymore. The interest rate on the Chase Freedom Student is also not bad. It's just 19%. Some of the other cards that we're going to mention later in this video go quite a bit higher. And if you don't know, you only pay interest if you do not pay your balance in full every month. So if you're going to pay your balance in full, the interest rate's not going to matter to you anyway. To get approved for this card, you should be fine with no credit score and basically a thin file, right? No credit history. However, there will be a hard pull on your credit report, okay, which does impact your credit report. And also, if you have no social security number, or you only just got a social security number very recently, i.e. an international student who just came to the US in the past year or so, then you might have a lot more trouble getting approved. They even say you may need to go through additional verification after you apply. Number 2, Fizz. Now, Fizz is a card that actually describes itself as a debit card, but you can still build credit with this card. You see, what they do is they link your bank account through Plaid, which is the industry standard way of doing a read-only link with your bank. And they then give you a credit limit based on how much money you have in your bank. So to the user, it actually feels more like a debit card. Then they have 2 features which are specifically designed to stop you from getting into financial trouble. The daily auto pay feature, which pays off your entire balance from your bank account every day, and the safe freeze feature, which will freeze your card if you ever miss a payment. So you cannot get into credit card debt on this card, and because of that, there's no interest rate, there are no fees such as no late fee, no annual fee, etc. And your on-time payments will get reported to the credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. This card also does feature some cashback rewards at merchants such as Shake Shack, and also some college-specific merchants. So if you go to UT Austin or UCLA, for example, you can actually earn cashback at some of the restaurants on campus. Fizz seems to be a great option for those who are a bit more financially cautious and want a way of building their credit for their future, whilst not having any risk of getting into financial trouble through using a credit card. The average college student in America does graduate with over $3,000 worth of credit card debt. That's in addition to all their student loans. And it's also going to be an easier application for international students who will often get rejected for other cards, even cards that are supposedly aimed at students. So if you are interested in Fizz, this is the only one in this video that I have a sponsored link to. I will put the link to it below, or you can scan the QR code on screen now with your iPhone, and you can download the mobile app and it'll guide you through the application, which takes about 3 minutes. You'll get a $20 bonus when you sign up with my link and use the code BEN. And after you've applied and got approved, you will immediately get a virtual card that can be used with Apple Pay, and your actual Fizz card will be mailed to you and arrive within a week or two. All right, let's move on. Number 3, Discover It student cards. Now, Discover actually has 2 credit cards aimed at students, the Discover It Student and the Discover It Chrome. Now, the Discover It Student is actually very similar to the regular Discover It cashback card, earning 5% cashback in rotating quarterly categories on up to $1,500 in spending per quarter. And it even has the first year cashback match, so actually in that first year, it's kind of like you're earning 10% back in those categories. Now, the Discover It Student Chrome earns 2% cashback on gas and restaurants on up to $1,000 in spending per quarter, and it earns 1% on everything else. It also has the same first year cashback match. Okay, that's their way of doing a welcome bonus. It's a cashback match rather than just like, spend some money and get some cashback. Now, looking at these 2 cards, I don't really know what the point of the Chrome is, okay? The Discover It Student, it earns 5% versus 2% on the Chrome. The spending amounts are larger. You can spend $1,500 per quarter and earn that 5% bonus rate versus just spending $1,000 per quarter on the Student Chrome. The only benefit I can see is really if all your spending is in the gas and restaurant category and you couldn't actually max out the 1,500 on the other, Discover It Student card. Otherwise, I think the Discover It Student card is better. Now, obviously, these cards will report to the credit bureaus and help you build your credit score, but you will need a hard pull on your credit report to get approved, and it may be more difficult to get approved if you're an international student. This card also, after an initial period of 0% APR, does charge an interest rate of between 17 and 26% if you don't pay your bill in full each month. So I'd say if you're after cashback rewards, great. It's an awesome card, especially in the first year. But if you just want to build your credit score and are a bit fearful about getting into credit card debt with a high interest rate, it's not the best. Number 4, the Capital One Savor Student. So a few years ago, Capital One came out with a student version of their popular Savor rewards card. The original Savor card billed itself as a credit card aimed at foodies, okay, with rewards mostly on categories that foodies would enjoy, like restaurant spending, delivery services, etc. The student version earns unlimited 3% cashback on dining, entertainment, popular streaming services, and at grocery stores, and then 1% on everything else. There's also a welcome bonus of $50 when you spend $100 on purchases in your first 3 months, but the APR is quite high on this card, between 19 and 29% depending on creditworthiness. Actually, that's not quite high, that's really high. And I suspect most students, since they haven't really built their credit score at all, they won't have that creditworthiness to get the lower end of that. So they're going to be at the upper end, probably at 29% or close to it. All right, let's now look at our final student credit card in this video, and then we'll give you a conclusion. Number 5, the Bank of America Travel Rewards for Students. This Bank of America card earns 1.5 points per dollar on all spending, and those points can be redeemed for a statement credit against travel bookings for 1 cent per point. There's also a generous welcome offer of 25,000 points. That's $250 in value. APR on this card, that's the interest rate, is between 17 and 27%. So like some of the others that pay the better rewards rates, it's on the high side. There is, however, a introductory 0% APR period of 18 months. So you could see it as a great feature. You get an interest-free loan for a year and a half, or you could see it as a bit predatory. They get you used to using the card with no APR and then you rack up a huge balance and boom, 18 months are over and you're suddenly paying interest. So you could see it either way. This card has no annual fee and also no foreign transaction fees, which makes it great for travel. If you were an international student, you could get it here. You could take it back home in the summer, use it in your home country too. And it also has the best bonus of all of the cards that we've looked at in this video. The points on this card that you earn are just worth 1 cent per point though. So it's not really any different from just having a straight cashback card, although you are limited to using the points for certain redemptions, mainly travel. There's also one more benefit on this card that I'd like to talk about specifically for rich students, and that is that some of you, if you have enough money, you may be able to earn up to 2.62 points per dollar on all your spending on this card. For this, you need to be a preferred rewards member with a certain amount of money in an account with Bank of America or invested with Merrill. Over $20,000, you get 25% extra on your credit card rewards. Over $50,000, you get 50% extra. And over $100,000, you get 75% extra. That takes you up to an earnings rate of 2.62 points per dollar. That's a really great rate. It's unlimited with no categories to keep in mind, but you do have to be rich while you're in college. So most people aren't, but if you do fit into that category, good for you. And hey, you might want to consider this card. And guys, that is my list of top 5 student credit cards in 2023. There are more I could have included, but I think this list gives you some really good variety. You can see that the interest rates or APR do seem to increase the more rewards the card offers. I think the Chase Freedom Student is good for people who want to get a head start in the Chase system, leading to applying for more Chase cards, maybe once they finish college. The Discover It and the Savor Student are probably the best for people who are just concerned with rewards and do plan to pay the balance in full every month. The Bank of America card is going to be great to earn a high rewards rate on all your spending if you are rich. And then you have Fizz, which is lighter on rewards, but doesn't even have an interest rate. It doesn't have APR. It doesn't have any fees of any kind, but it will still build your credit really well with less risk of you getting into financial trouble, i.e. credit card debt. So guys, if you want to know more about Fizz, do check out the link below or scan the QR code on screen now. Remember, when you sign up with my link or the QR code on screen now, you can get a $20 bonus when you use the code BEN. As always, please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.